Sorry about the abrupt cut last episode, though this one won't be as long or have an abrupt cut because I was in the middle of talking and I ran out of time. Anyway, my main goal for this episode, just kill a whole bunch of bosses. Like, a lot of the early game bosses are going to be killed in this episode. By a lot of, I mean basically all of them. We're going to be out of the early game at the end of this episode. I have a hit list right now. That hit list includes this big boy, who I was right outside his arena, so start the episode, get right into a boss fight. Great way to do it, I know. My hit list is Last Giant, Dragon Rider, Old Dragon Slayer, and Flexile Sentry. Because I feel like once you get to the Lost Bastille, you're out of the early game into the mid, and into the early mid game. Like, you're out of the early game. Like, what I consider the early game. Being like, you're fighting extremely easy bosses. Enemies are weak. You haven't gotten a great soul or anything. Into the early mid game, which is where you'll have your first great soul. Well, and for us, our second. And you're gonna fight harder bosses, and the difficulty just goes up from there. And if I still have time after killing Flexile Sentry, we'll get through Lost Bastille, and possibly take out not Flexile Sentry, take out Ruin Sentinels. So, but yeah, my hit list is solid and clear. Flexile Sentry, Dragon Rider, Old Dragon Slayer, Last Giant. Last Giant's already down, so that's 1 of 4 down. 3 to go. And I've changed my mind about the gutter. We will not be making a return to there for the items. If you want to loot that place, look up a loot guide. Because I've decided to start taking things into account for myself. Like, 1, how long this is going to take me to do stuff if I go back to places and loot. And 2, just how much I don't want to do it. I'm going to tell you guys something right now, right here and now, and this will go for any other series I do as well. If I don't want to do something, I'm just not going to do it. If I don't want to find a boss, I won't. If I don't want to, I won't. If I don't want to go back for something, I'm not going to. And I don't want to go back to the gutter to loot it. And I don't want to go through all of Bloodborne again to kill 2 bosses that aren't even interesting or hard. They're literally just another big beast fight with some not interesting attacks. And someone who just spits blood at you. Like, that's all of Yharnam the Blood Queen's attacks. She just shoots and spits blood at you, and that's it. Like, seriously, it's not at all intimidating or hard. But yeah, I don't care how short this episode is. Once those 4 enemies are dead, or bosses are dead, well, the remaining 3 are killed, that's when this episode ends. The second the Flexile Sentry is down for the count is the second this episode ends. Well, not second, hold on.
Help me carry in.
I'm just now realizing my mic was muted for a little bit. Okay, that's fine. But anyways, we killed Last Giant. And I'll give you the rundown of this episode's plan. I have a hit list of 4 bosses. Last Giant was included, so 3 are remaining. My hit list is Dragon Rider, Old Dragon Slayer, and Flexile Sentry now. And I want to kill all 4 of them before this episode ends. That long pause was me helping bring in groceries for my family. Anyway, 2 of these bosses are actually very close to each other, so they will be very easy to get to and from. Like, it'll literally just be kill Dragon Rider, rest, fight my way to the Old Dragon Slayer, or just run by everything, which isn't an option. I have to kill everything. Fight my way to the Old Dragon Slayer, fight Old Dragon Slayer, leave, go to the Lost Bastille, not Lost Bastille, the, to No Man's Wharf, where I'll use one of my Pharaoh's Lockstones to light it up and just breeze through it, because I'm not going to loot that place either. I really just don't want to loot in this series, even if it's short. But that doesn't mean I'm going to run by everything or not loot at all. If there are certain areas in these games, in every game, that I just don't like being in, and that is one of them, so I'm not going to loot it, and I'm not returning to loot it either. I'll loot it as I go, but I'm not doing the slow, methodical sweep that I would normally do, where I get everything, or mostly everything. Because I just legitimately don't want to, and you guys can't make me. And oh, I thought his dumbass was gonna fall off. And that's how you swing a greatsword, bud. I actually grinded these guys for levels. Those big green knights. Yeah, I grinded them for levels. Early game. Oh. But yeah, in my playthrough, I grinded these big green dudes for levels. So I could get, you know, higher levels. That's probably why I'm almost at the same level as my New Game Plus 2 character, who has 100 hours in them. This character, I think, only has 50, which is an average number for a run of Dark Souls, probably. If you're doing everything, looting everything, fighting every boss, with a decent struggle with some bosses, then it'll probably take you 40 to 50 hours to beat the game. Which is a decently long game. Like, goddamn. These games may not be long in, like, the sense that if you just go to every required boss, then it won't be very long. But if you're doing everything, looting, killing all bosses, dying a few times along the way, or a bunch along the way, then you're gonna have some trouble. Not trouble, you're gonna have a long ass playthrough on your hands. I could actually kill Old Dragon Slayer first, if I wanted to, which I kinda wanna do, because Old Dragon Slayer is gonna be the bigger pain in the ass to get to. And part of the route to getting to him requires killing a bunch of enemies, which I'm going to kill anyway to get one of these levers. If you wish to make the Dragon Rider fight easier on yourself by giving yourself more land to stand on, then, you know, pull these levers. And if you don't have more land to stand on, then he becomes a decent bit more difficult, because you can fall off and die. But yeah, these big green men must be killed. Otherwise, they will follow you. I'm gonna have to fight the Old Dragon Slayer with no Estus, basically. Or, no wait, I can kill everything on the path there, respawn with all my Estus, and then go fight him, because without the dragon, his gate is already open. I just need to kill everything once on the way to the dragon. But yeah, these guys are really, really annoying, as you can probably tell. I've got a strong heavy attack and a lot of repair powder, because that heavy attack actually destroys your weapon's durability. Like, god damn, it just ruins your weapon. I would not recommend using it unless you have a decent bit of repair powder handy, like I did, or like I do. And even then, I wouldn't recommend using it because it doesn't do as much damage. It's slower, but it does have range. It offers you a ranged option. And a good bit of, decent little bit of crowd control for times like this, when you need to hit multiple enemies. Especially if they're in a tightly packed area. It does 1,000 damage if you hit them with the melee and the little blast, but, you know. But other than that, it's not at all worth using, because, especially not during a boss fight. Oh my god, if you use that during a boss fight. Like, look at my weapon's durability. It's that little red bar under my sword icon. It's just destroyed. And if you want to use that attack, you're going to have a lot of repair powder handy, as I've said. And even then, with the repair powder strategy, you have to have a steady stream of repair powder to be able to do it with ease. Like, if you want to be able to do it, you have to have a bunch of repair powder. Oh yeah, and then there's this asshole here. Hyde's Tower of Flame on New Game Plus is more annoying than anything. Trying to get to the old Dragon Slayer. Because these red phantoms respawn for some reason, even though they're clearly red. And red implies that they're an invader. And if they're an invader, then, you know, you'd think they wouldn't respawn. This dragon's not bad to kill, though. I mean, it dies pretty quickly if you have a lot of damage. Even if you don't have a lot of damage, it'll still die pretty damn fast. I'm going to pull this lever, which will reveal even more red phantoms, by the way. There's 2 more up there. You can't see their feet, but they're up there. I think they spawn as the bridge comes down, or as you come up it. Yeah, I think it's as you come up it. Yeah, they're up here now. And it's 2 of those spear people that we fought, or halberd people, I mean. We're gonna just get in the fight. Dark Souls 2 is egregious for letting enemies hit you out of going through fog gates. Like, oh my god, they can just do it as much as they want. Also, let me get up before you do your next attack. Jesus Christ. Like, I get I was rolling towards him, but damn. At least, just let me get off the ground, ass. I might actually use a, never mind, I guess I won't be using a Divine Blessing. I'm fully willing to use Divine Blessings even on these bosses just so I can get them over with. Because I have like 20 of the damn things. They just give you so many in this game. Unlike Dark Souls 2, or 3 I mean, where they're super stingy with them. No, I have 12. Dark Souls 3 is super stingy with them, and Dark Souls 1 doesn't have them. Bloodborne is probably the most stingy with their full heal items, because you can only get 2 Yusefka's blood vials. And when you go over the limit of how many you can get, you don't just put them into storage. No, that's too easy. You just throw it on the ground, and when you return for it later, it despawns. So yeah, enjoy that wonderful little thing. Because I wanted to get 2 Yusefka's blood vials because I figured I might. Oh wait, these red phantoms don't respawn. Never mind. Then I'm just an idiot. I wanted to get 2 of them because you know, the Yusefka's blood vial is extremely useful. Getting all of your health back in one go in these games is very useful. Who would have thought? Go, go, go. I wanted to use a life gem before coming in, but still. Use it. But you know, like, getting 2 full heals. But, anyway. A full heal can be and has been many times the difference between victory and failure for me. For example, with Slave Knight Gale. In my playthrough for YouTube. A Divine Blessing literally saved my life. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't have won. Because I ran out of Estus. And he was right there. And then I got the stagger off on him and then finished him off. Because Slave Knight Gale, in that playthrough, I did a lot of damage, so he staggered pretty easily. I don't think you can stagger Old Dragon Slayer. Who is Ornstein? Let's be real here. I'm just gonna call him Ornstein. You can't stagger good old Ornstein here. I don't think. I mean, there are just some bosses you can't stagger. And he's already dead. He's pathetic. I just didn't have any health. And you get his soul. I'm not gonna bother killing this guy even though he talks down on you. There's a chest out front of here guarded by those 2 red phantoms that I'm not too interested in. But you know, whatever. I'm not bothering with it. That's another name off the hit list. We're gonna go down here, light this bonfire, and then just haul ass towards the Dragon Rider because I don't really care that much about extending his arena to the fullest length. Though, I do have a personal thing against Dragon Rider and Last Giant, by the way, so it does put an evil smile on my face when I absolutely curb stomp them. Because both of those bosses, on my first playthrough of Dark Souls 2, kicked my ass. Oh, I didn't realize there were 3 knights there. I thought they were phantoms of, like, other players. You know how, like, if you can see other people just kind of playing the game. Yeah, I thought it was one of those. God damn, I thought it was 2 of those just in the same place and for some reason walking at me. Oh my god. Ah! Oh, get it. Open it. Because I don't think they can... Nope, they can stop me from opening it. I don't need that much Estus to beat Dragon Rider. In fact, I probably don't need any. Honestly, I probably don't. But I'm going to try and keep my Estus. Just in case he somehow pulls a miracle ass whooping out of nowhere. I highly doubt he will. But he definitely whooped my ass on my first playthroughs. On my first ever playthrough of this game. He absolutely destroyed me. And so did the Last Giant. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have an excuse or reason for why that happened. It just did. Though most likely it was because I hadn't played any Dark Souls games or Souls-like games in like a year. So I wasn't used to it. But yeah, that's just my little soul. That's the one little bit of Souls shame I have. I'm not ashamed to die to easy bosses. But yeah, Dragon Rider absolutely beat my ass. Like, I didn't even get him low. That's how easily he beat my ass. I don't think he can break his block. Yeah, I didn't need any Estus to beat him. I mean, obviously now Dragon Rider's a goddamn joke for me because, you know, Dark Souls and I'm good at it. Ah. Why'd you stab me in the ass? How dare you? Have at thee for stabbing my ass cheeks. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Oh, and you guys want to know something interesting? I've actually gotten, on my personal playthrough to get to New Game Plus, I got invaded like 3 times. This game's online is surprisingly active. For the, quote, worst game in Dark Souls in the series, its online is extremely active. It's probably only beaten by Dark Souls 3, because I highly doubt that Dark Souls 1 or Bloodborne or Demon Souls have higher online than Dark Souls 3. Or 2, honestly, because 2, there's just so many people who play this game. And it baffles me for how much hate it gets. People still play it all the time. And you can tell that these people aren't new players, because that is definitely not a new player's look. Or it could be. I don't know. He could be a new player. Anyway, that's 2 more names off the hit list. Let's get moving to the 4th and final. And I've decided that if I kill all the bosses too quickly, and by too quickly I mean if I kill all the bosses and still have time left over, we'll make a return to the Black Gulch to get the Giant Soul, and then never return there again. And then we'll end the episode there without trying to risk it. Because I really don't like when these episodes end abruptly. I just don't like it. It's annoying. Oh yeah, and since I've got everything that I need from the game, I actually probably won't be needing any Fragrant Branches of Yore, and by probably I mean I literally won't be needing any more than one more, which I already have, so I don't need to go out of my way to get them. Because you're required to use a Fragrant Branch of Yore to get into the Forgotten Crossroads. Which actually, once I get the Giant Soul, I'll go and do that. Do I have any more Sublime Bone Dust? Or is it just the one that I have? No, I just have the one. I don't know if I can burn any more Sublime Bone Dust, but still. Sublime Bone Dust is just what makes your Estus Flask heal you more. Instead of giving you higher amounts, it gives you more healing. Running around the elevator. Elevator. But yeah, I highly doubt that I won't have enough time to kill Flexile Sentry and then go get the Giant Soul. And if I don't, we'll just do it in another episode. If I do, then that's good too. Through there, with that Fragrant Branch of Yore, you get a Estus Shard, as well as some other stuff. I think you get some armor pieces from in there. Definitely not worth a Fragrant Branch of Yore. Unless you're looking to, like, I don't know, get everything. Which I think it is possible to unpetrify every statue. Because there are only 15 Fragrant Branches of Yore. I think. I don't remember the exact number. I think it's 15. And I don't remember how many statues there are, but it is definitely possible to beat the game while only using... How many did I use again? I used 2. I'm gonna use 2. What did I use the first one on? Oh wait, I have on that bonfire in the Black Gulch. It's possible to beat the game only using 2 if you want to kill every boss. And if you don't want to kill every boss, you only need to use 1. And that's the 1 to get into the Forgotten Crossroads. And if you want to fight Ruin Sentinels and everything like that, and the Gargoyles, then, wow, missing textures, then you'll need to use 2. 1 to just get in the area that leads to the Ruin Sentinels and everything. And then you'll need to use a Pharaoh's Lockstone to get to the gargoyles, which is my personal least favorite boss in this game. Like, I like bad bosses. Like, bosses that are just genuinely crap more. No, and I hate the gankers in the cave the most, because at least the gargoyles fall easily. And don't have full health bars. They share a health bar. Oops, didn't mean to use that. I'm actually going to go through here and use one of my Pharaoh's Lock stones, like I said I would. Because I'm gonna have an abundance, and I actually don't need this many. And I'd rather use it to I'd rather use one than hoard them for no reason. Because you don't use enough in a playthrough to justify hoarding them. All it does is light up the whole area. It's pretty good though. It's very, very worth it, in my opinion, especially for like a first playthrough. It helps you get to know the place. I don't need it, but it is just for visual purposes, so you guys can see. I know where to go, but I know watching a dark-ass... people go through dark-ass areas are not very interesting. Because trust me, if I was watching a Dark Souls 2 playthrough, I would want the person to use that to just cough up the Pharaoh's Lockstone and light up the place as well. Like, because the dark in this game is very annoying. The dark in any Dark Souls game is very annoying. Like, haha, get it, Dark Souls. Hardy har. You made your stupid joke, no one's laughing. And when they go for areas that literally just rely on the dark, they make some of the worst areas in the games. In the entire series. Tomb of the Giants comes to mind. That place is an absolute hellhole, full of giant-ass skellies. I hate that place. Yeah, I'm gonna loot this place just a little bit. I'll go out of my way since it's not that big. And we're probably gonna have enough time. Well, by probably, I mean we will have enough time to loot this place. Not too thoroughly, but good enough. Kill everything and then leave. Well, loot this place, kill the boss, then leave, I mean. And then go get the giant soul. The reason the giant soul is at the bottom of the list is, even though it's very important, is because I prefer to kill an actual boss than go get it. You need the giant souls to be able to fight Vendrick with, well, with reasonable defense. Because King Vendrick, you can actually skip most of this place, by the way. And by skip most of this place, I mean, you have to come through here the first time, and if you miss the, there's also these terrible little freaks. By little freaks, I mean these horrible freaks that don't like the light. It hurts them. And so when you turn on the lights, they're no longer up here. Because normally they'd be out and about roaming around waiting to kick your ass. And trust me, they will kick your ass because they do a lot of damage. And for some reason they drop broadswords. That's weird. But they do a lot of damage. And you're probably not going to have enough damage to stun their ass. Oh yeah, and they also bleed you. I have enough damage to stun them with a single hit and then kill them with the follow-up. But people who are coming through here on their first playthrough or New Game Plus, or New Game, I mean, just turn on the lights, man. Literally, it's just easier. Turn them on for your first go-through. And then any other go-through as well, because trust me, you're not going to need every Pharaoh's Lockstone you pick up. As long as you don't waste them on stupid things, you will not need every single one that you pick up. They give you too many. And I think they give you too many on purpose to try and entice you into wasting them so you don't get to the better things that you actually need them for. Point is, don't waste Pharaoh's Lockstones willy-nilly. they give you a lot, so you can spend a lot, obviously. Like, if they give them to you, obviously, you're gonna spend them. And I think it's to incentivize spending them without fear. Oh no, my sword's gonna break unless I repair it. But that's not to say you should just use them all willy-nilly. Like I said, you only need to use one. And that's if you want to kill a boss. That isn't honestly all that great. But if you want to kill the gargoyles, then you need at least one Pharaoh's Lockstone and a Fragrant Branch of Yore. Come up here and pull that lever and you'll pull on the ship to fight Flexile Centurion. Oh, by the way, Flexile Sentry is one of the many bosses in these games that has been turned into an enemy fight. Just a weird little enemy you can find out in the wild. Because there's actually been a surprising amount of bosses and weird bosses, like weird choices for bosses that have been turned into like enemies. Flexile Sentry is one, Covetous Demon is one. Both of those are in the same DLC, by the way. Dragon Slayer Armor, for some reason, is one. Dragon Slayer Armor is one, and I know there's more. I know there's more, I just can't remember it. Can't remember them all. Anyway, point is, bosses become enemies in these games. It's weird, but it's something they do. Hidden path ahead. Can I hit it? Because this looks like a wall I can break. Because I know there's a wall in this place that you can hit and break. Oh, and I'm going to show you how to get to Gavilan. Here he is. You come to him, you talk to him, and you can sell him your stuff. Or you can buy stuff from him. I'm just going to sell all this stuff. This is going to take a little bit. You guys having a nice time? Is this entertaining for you? Because let me tell you, this is a whole playthrough's worth of garbage. Well, it's actually 2 full playthroughs worth of garbage. Well, not really. It's 1 playthrough worth of just absolute trash that I don't need. But it feels like 2 because I've gotten a lot of doubles on stuff. I'm having fun. I'm doing this for the souls though, like when you really add all this up, it may not seem like a lot at first, but when you add up just how much there is, it's a lot of souls for all this crap. And this is just my weapons and shields that I don't use. We're actually gonna go from bottom to top. Because I like seeing the rows dissolve like this. Just fading away. Like, this is just all weapons and shields that I picked up across my playthrough. And it feels great to be able to get rid of all of them. Because I don't need any of these. I don't need a single one. Particularly because I'm going to get better versions. And by better versions, I mean I'm going to get more of them. I don't know why I said better versions, but I'm going to get more of them. And I must confess, there is one place that I am willing to use bows in, and I actually recommend everyone use bows in. It is the Shrine of Amana, to kill those mages from far away. And if not to kill the mages, then to lure the melee guys towards yourself. So that way you can easily dispatch them one by one. Because if you don't, you're going to have a lot harder of a time. Oh, and you thought we were done when it was just weapons? Now we've got armor too. Armor's probably going to be a little bit worse because you pick up full sets at a time. And as you can see, I have the symbol of avarice, which I'm going to keep. That's mine. No, that's mine. Get away. I'm just gonna sell until I have everything I don't want. A good thing the symbol of avarice is sandwiched in between what I have equipped, because you can't sell what you have equipped. That's Sigward's armor. Probably be better to go from top to bottom for this. And then after these, we have rings to do as well. This is definitely going to slow down my progress. And we're probably only going to be able to kill Flexile Sentry and not get the Giant Soul, which is fine, because I didn't want to rush through this boss anyway. But yeah, I think it's a great idea that they made it you able to sell everything whenever you want in Dark Souls 3. Because if I had to do this in this game and Dark Souls 3, hoard everything like this and then sell it all at once, I would never sell things in that game. Just kidding, I would. But it would be extremely annoying like this is. I mean, I appreciate being able to sell things, but only at certain times. That's very, it's not aggravating, but it's very annoying. Anyways, this is where you can see that the souls are really going to start adding up, because we've probably broken 100,000 by now. I had like 100k or 200k when I first started selling stuff. Now look at how much I have. This is great for progress later down the line with like leveling up and everything. But for content, this is absolutely horrible. And for my own boredom, this is very horrible as well, because I have to sit here and do all this. Because I'm sick of seeing my inventory be so cluttered. Rings sell for a lot. My goddamn. I wonder what would be the combined price of selling every item in the game. Like, I really do wonder how many souls you can get for selling every item that you can pick up in the game. And that goes for every game, like, because I know they all have different, you know, levels of sell value. I'm gonna sell all my arrows too. And now items, which, you know, there's only a few that I really want to get rid of. All these can go. This can go. This can go. And I'm gonna sell all these too. Because, just like in Dark Souls 3, I don't need them. And it's just a bunch of free souls burning a hole in my pocket. There's no way we haven't broken 100,000 by now. Like, there's literally no physical possible way for it to have for it to not have broken 100,000 by now. Oh yeah, we've easily broken 100,000. Oh, why didn't I sell that? Oh, there's 4 more. There we go. Now we're gonna go fight the Flexile Sentry after resting at a bonfire to give you some action after that big chunk of just so much selling. Holy crap. Like, I knew it was gonna be a lot of items, but god damn. I have a lot of items. I could break 1,000,000 souls if I really tried, but I don't want to. I'm gonna use all these boss souls I have once I'm done with my hit list. Oh my god, if I got pushed in the water and killed by that guy, and then on the way back I got killed for all my souls, I would just end the series right now. Cause I would be so pissed off. Like, I would never post another Dark Souls 2 video again. In fact, I'd drop the whole idea of playing Dark Souls for YouTube. Cause, oh good god. Oh, and by the way, new recording rule. If I accidentally miss a boss fight from any of the games, like, no matter how many it is, unless it's a significant amount or a very important boss, I will not be covering it. Like, I won't do anything to stop. Even if it's an important boss, I'll be bummed out, sure, but I'm not stopping the series or restarting the game to do it. I'll come in on a different character, possibly, and fight them for you. So that way you can see the fight and know that I actually beat them, because every one of my characters has the same build. All three of my characters in Dark Souls 2 have the same sword and armor on. So it won't be so different that it's horrible. Like, it won't be like I curb stomp them when before I absolutely got crushed. I forgot that Flexile Sentry adds these enemies in. These little dudes here. The Flexile Sentry's gimmick, other than that they're Siamese twins, is that if you'll notice that we're fighting in water, you can see that. You'll notice we're fighting in water, but that water is slowly rising. I'd recommend baiting mace attacks, because the mace side is a lot easier to dodge. All you really have to do is walk to the side for most of them. Oh, and I didn't know Flexile Sentry could be stunned. You know what? I'm gonna risk it for the Trisket. After I get... I'm not going to bring all these souls with me to fight those giants, because, oh my god, if I died to them and lost these, I would be so pissed. But anywho, we're gonna go fight those giants now. And then do a big streak of crushing boss souls. You know, we're gonna crush all the boss souls too, and all the souls that I have, just to see how many souls I can get with everything that I have. Oh my god, if I fall off here. Well, good thing I'll respawn. I just have to go through that place again. I didn't even do that to be funny. That was just purely an accident. Okay. I'm trying not to be in my own head about not falling off. But if I fall off and die or get killed here, somehow, I'm gonna be so upset. Like I said, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay, we're good. I'm not gonna fall off here. But yeah, those giants won't be very hard to beat. I just don't want to risk it. And if I end up having to not fight them on camera, like the episode cuts off and then is like not able to be seen, like while I'm fighting them, it's not a big deal. They're not a boss fight. They're just two giants with clubs in a dark area. Really, all you really need to see of me fighting them is how to get to them, and that's about it. Which I will show you how to do. I'm going to show you how to get to them. Okay, we're gonna just go down here and get everything. Not get everything, we're gonna go up here and go to the bonfire. We will be looting this place next episode. When I do next episode, because I don't want to record right now after this. Because I've made just so much progress that I feel like I should slow down. My goal of taking out all 4 bosses and getting out of the early game has been successful. And I'm very glad I was able to do that so early on, to be able to get out of the end game, not end game, out of the early game like that. Because I do know that some YouTubers would just milk the early game for a few episodes. Like, I really don't want to. I really just don't want to, you know, progress too quickly, but at the same time I want to progress fast. Like, I want to progress fast, but I don't want to milk the series at the same time by going too slowly. I don't want to go, basically, I don't want to go too fast that it's over in 4 episodes, and I don't want to go too slow that it takes 50 episodes to beat the game. And I think doing this, doing just this big chunk of boss progress, killing every boss that I consider early game to be a great start to the series. Well, kill every boss that starts the early game, as well as the Rotten, who is a mid or late game, depending on when you go to the gutter, a mid to late game boss on the first episode, makes it a lot easier on me as well, because the late game isn't going to take as long. Because the late game's length really is going from place to place and killing all those bosses that have great souls. Though I wouldn't consider him late game, since I would go there in mid game. I'd go to him normally after killing the Lost Sinner. So it's more of a thing of just getting him out of the way now. There we go, got my dexterity and health to level 50. So that was 10 levels, all of those. That's pretty damn good. Especially for being level 204, or whatever level I am. Or Rumi is, I mean. But anyway, Giants time. I'm gonna light this torch to make my journey down easier, because there is a secret area in this place. Like I said, this game loves its secret areas. Just drop down here. You'll need a certain ring to get in here, or key, that I think you get from beating these giants. But anyway, they're right in here. You know, two-hand my weapon. They're not too hard to beat. There's just 2 of them. So the last giant's name is a liar. He isn't the last giant. These 2 are the last giants. It's really just about baiting their attacks and then focusing on one of them. That's what I'd recommend doing. Focus one of them and wait, and then, you know, obviously kill the other one once that one's down. Like, I would also, if you want to make this a little bit easier, if you don't have extremely high damage, or you're on new game, or this is your first playthrough. Point is, if you don't have a ton of damage, this is going to be a little bit harder. I'd recommend running into one of the side rooms of this place, and then chucking fire bombs or something at them. Or if you play as an archer, you know, obviously shoot them with arrows or crossbow bolts, or if you play with magic. And if you play with magic, just obliterate them like you obliterate everything else, you hack. That was rude. But it's how I feel about people who play with magic. You really are just kind of making the game not very fun for yourself with being that powerful, because there are spells There are magic users who can two-shot basically every boss, and if not two-shot, then one-shot or three-shot. They can kill bosses with extreme ease, which is why I don't like magic users or the concept of magic in these games, because they just make it so easy. And I'm not playing this game for an easy experience, I'm playing it for a fun and fair challenge. Alright. We're just gonna ignore everything here. And run into the boss room to get... No way, we can't, because there's a dark spirit here. I think if I come in here, he'll despawn, because I really don't want to deal with him. Or he might follow me. Yeah, he's gone. Free human effigy. We're actually going to make one last stop before we end this episode, and we're going to use that key to progress in a covenant that I'm already a part of, but I need to go through again. That's where you use the forgotten key. And you can come in here and talk to this old man. You have to talk to him in 3 different places. He'll allow you into his covenant, and then you can fight the Dark Lurker. Okay, see you later. Alright, bye everybody.